Hello, I'm Jim Patrick from the Yuma Main Library. Throughout Yuma's history, dancing has provided a prime means of entertainment and social interaction for young and old. This presentation will highlight examples from historical articles and advertisements showing that without question, Yuma loves to dance. While most dances in Yuma have been open to the general public for a modest admission fee, with the ladies often getting in for free, these very early articles describe exclusive grand balls that were for invited guests only. Dance ads in the days before air conditioning frequently noted that plenty of fans would be available. This was an important consideration, particularly in the summer, and the quality of the floor was also often mentioned as a selling point to Yuma's dance enthusiasts. Benefit dances have had a long history in Yuma. In April 1898, a dance at the Southern Pacific Hotel raised money for the Prison Piano Fund. 45 years later, when the old territorial prison was operating as a museum, a dance was held to benefit the Prison Museum Fund. Fundraising dances would sometimes address social issues. The Railroad Boys dance raised money for Yuma's striking railroad mechanics, while the Knights of Columbus benefit was for the poor children of Yuma. Yuma did not get its public library until February 1921, and it took years of planning and fundraising to make the library a reality. For 10 cents a dance, attendees at this women's club dance were able to contribute to the library fund while enjoying the music of the 14th Infantry Band. Yuma's sports teams and clubs would often sponsor dances as fundraisers for needed equipment and uniforms. The October 1923 football dance was held for the Yuma High School and Mesa High School teams who had played a game earlier that day. How's that for good sportsmanship? Yuma has staged dances to celebrate events as varied as the paving of Main Street and the awarding of bids for the construction of the All-American Canal. The newspaper claimed that the pavement dedication ceremony would be one of the, quote, historic events in the history of the city, unquote. Dances on Yuma's Main Street have been a tradition for over 100 years. According to the ad on the left, it was a civic duty to buy a ticket which would benefit the commercial club. The ad on the right noted that the famous Yuma Indian Band would be providing music and that attendees could mask if you want to. The 1920 ad was for an overall dance where the men were to wear overalls and the women aprons. The 1928 ad on the right noted that a live pig would be given away at the door of the barn dance hosted by the Somerton Firemen. The benefit tax dance and the First Voters Club dance were probably more exciting than their descriptions. At least the candidates' speeches at the voters' dance were limited to 5 minutes. John Wayne was only 22 years old when he was in Yuma in 1930 for the filming of The Big Trail. Since this was his first starring role, Wayne was not yet well known, but it is likely that his presence at the Delta Club dance still caused a stir. Another future show business legend, Gypsy Rose Lee, appeared at Yuma's Lyric Theater in 1929 at the age of 18. Her mother, Madame Rose, started each of her 2 daughters dancing in vaudeville from a very young age. One daughter, June Havoc, went on to become a successful actress, while Gypsy Rose Lee became a legendary burlesque and striptease performer. In October 1920, burlesque promoter A.B. Marcus brought his large troupe of dancing showgirls to the Gandolfo Theater. Several years later, in 1934, a more daring program came to town with the provocative title Bare Facts Burlesque. They weren't twins as the ad states, but the Nicholas brothers who appeared at Yuma's Paradise Club in 1938 were spectacular dancers who in their later years gave lessons to stars such as Debbie Allen and Michael Jackson. Bob Wills was not a dancer, but the king of Western swing played music made for dancing. After Wills relocated his Texas Playboys to the West Coast, he made multiple appearances in Yuma. Yuma has shown strong support for the armed forces during times of war and peace. These 1919 ads promote dances for returning World War I soldiers and sailors. Not only is the Gandolfo Theater building still in use today, but its USO heritage from World War II has been preserved on the building's exterior walls. The Hilltop USO Club opened in January 1944, and the old-time Western dance held later that year drew over 700 servicemen to the club. The ragtime music craze in the early 20th century gave rise to several popular animal dances, such as the turkey trot and the grizzly bear. East Coast high society took particular offense at these dance crazes and tried to get them banned from their cities. But this anti-ragtime outrage doesn't seem to have made its way to Yuma. The foxtrot began as a ragtime animal dance known as the bunny hug, but the foxtrot outlasted most other dance crazes, including later ones like the jitterbug. Unfortunately, a Yuma high school student broke his leg while doing a fast and frantic jitterbug dance at the Big Barn Dance Hall. The young ladies on the left are promoting a twist contest at the Yuma Theater, sponsored by radio station KOFA. The photo on the right shows Mrs. Maud Cox, a twisting 82-year-old from Roll, Arizona. Undoubtedly, the twist was not the first dance craze that she had witnessed. The twist set off a flood of 60s dance crazes, including the jerk, which was popularized by the Larks, an LA group who visited Yuma in 1964, while their one and only hit was riding the charts. Dances have long provided a social and recreational outlet for Yuma's teens. Schools, churches, and civic organizations have regularly organized and chaperoned these events for young people. Yuma's annual Square Dance Festival was first held in 1951 in the Yuma High School Gymnasium. By 1980, it was being held at the Yuma Civic Center, and attendance had grown to a couple thousand dancers. Yuma has been blessed to have a long-standing tradition of ballet and classical dance instruction for children. A handful of qualified instructors and successful dance studios have carried this tradition into the present time. Dance instruction has not only been available for children, but also for adults wanting to learn formal or popular dance styles. Disco dance lessons were a short-lived fad, but the other dance ads shown here represent some of Yuma's established dance studios and instructors from recent decades. Dancers in today's challenging times have had to adjust and adapt, but may they always keep on dancing.